and welcome back to another video. Welcome back to my channel. Y'all might be thinking, wait a second, the background looks different, and it does look different because we are actually on vacation. So for those of you who know, if you've been around for a long time, you already know where we're at. I'll give you a moment. For those of you who don't know, we're at Disney World. So I am off for a week. Today was my first official day on vacation from basically Wednesday to next week, Tuesday. So about a week, 6 days off. And I was like, this is the perfect time for me to do a reading vlog because if you've been here a while, you know one of my goals is to really get down my TBR because, y'all, it got out of control. So when I started the year, I had over 60 books on my TBR, and I've gotten that down to like 30. I have not been buying as much. Before, I was going to the bookstore like at least 3 times a month, and I was buying like 5 and 6 books at a time. And I'm like, you know what? I need to get down some of these old books. I'm just walking back to my room because I want to show y'all the books that I got. But I was like, I really need to get down my TBR. So while I'm on vacation, while I'm off, we're not here the entire time, but we're here through Saturday. I am going to get reading time in and going back to my timer. So I've mentioned this before, times where I don't feel like I'm getting enough reading time, I'll pick hours and then I'll set my timer to make sure that I meet that time. Because a lot of times we'll be like, oh, I don't have time to read. But it's like, no, you do have time to read. What are you doing? What are you doing? So my goal is like 3 hours a week. So I'm going to do this for 7 days, even though I will be back at work by, part of the challenge. That's fine. I'm still going to do it for 7 days, and we're going to try to read 3 hours a week. And that does also include audiobooks because, of course, on the drive, sometimes I got to be in a car. You want to get some reading in. So I'm going to show you guys the books that I brought. So this first one is The Troop. It's by Nick Cutter. This one has been, and all of these are books that I got last year. I don't think any of these have been on my TBR since 2023, but I am focusing on everything that I did not purchase in 2025. So that one, I'm like maybe 60, 70% through that one. Then I have That Night at the Library. This one is by Eva Jezierski. I'm only like 5 chapters into that one. The other ones I'm going to be focusing on in this particular vlog is She Left. And this one is by Stacey Gray. Y'all, I'm sorry. I forgot to bring my daggone tripod. So I have that. And then, of course, we got to bring a Disney book almost there. This one is by Farah Rashan. It's A Twisted Tale. It is the last one that I have. I think there are like 2 others that have come out. One's an anthology, which I think is just a combination of like multiple stories in one. So I don't really need that. And then the other one is The Incredibles. Y'all, I can't even lie. I ain't never seen The Incredibles like in full. I don't believe. I've seen parts, but I've never actually seen it in full. But I don't have that one. So out of the ones that I have, that's the last one that I have. Hold on, because I can't get these books out. All right, y'all. The next one is The 22 Murders of Madison May by Max Berry. And then the last one that I brought is We Solve Murders is by Richard Osman. So these are the books that I am going to be focusing on reading. That's 2, 4, 6 books. So I'm hoping 6 books. I'm giving myself 3 hours a day, which over 7 days is 21 hours. Let's see how many books. I'm trying to turn the light off. Let's see how many books I can get done in a week. 21 hours dedicated to reading. So I'm going to hop into The Troop because, like I said, I'm about 70 pages done. And I'll give you guys like a recap of the book too. Like I'll talk about that. So far, let me just tell you about The Troop since I'm so far into this one. This one is, according to Stephen King, The Troop scared the hell out of me and I couldn't put it down. This is old school horror at its best. Here's the thing. This book ain't that scary. And I'm so mad because everybody's like, oh, it's such a horror book. Now, does it give 90s horror vibes? Yes. But it gives like 90s horror vibes Outbreak type. Where I was looking for 90s horror vibes Halloween, Friday the 13th. And that's not the horror that it's giving. So this one is definitely gory because the descriptions, y'all, the descriptions, what be happening is nasty. I'm just like, ew, ew. So that part is nasty. There is tons of language. So if language is not your thing, don't read this book because he's trying to be cussing up a storm. And the most horrific, like the horrifying thing, I'm like, that little boy is evil. Like, that's why you gotta watch who your kids be around because that little snot is evil. Like, why would you do that? So that part is horrific, but it's not like scary. That's like outbreak scary. This isn't like Jason is coming in my cabin and trying to get me scary. It's not that kind of horror. So, but yeah, so far I like it. The chapters are really short and I like quick chapters. Now the words on the page you can see are kind of like small, but you know, you get through them really quickly because like I said, the chapters are short. They even have like news articles and stuff like that in there. So that kind of helps, you know, it go by quickly in interviews. So it is definitely a good read. It's just not that horror. Like I was mad. Like I was reading, I was like, I've been holding on this book to pull it out when I need a good horror story, and but it's okay. So this is what I'm reading. I will check in a little bit later and, you know, just let you guys know what's going on. So talk to you soon. Hey guys, welcome back. It is some days later because y'all might be like, that room looks familiar. We're back home. We're back from Disney World and I didn't read as much as I thought, but I didn't do too bad because right now I've done 8 hours and 45 minutes. The reason I say I didn't read as much as I didn't physically read a lot. So I did an audiobook and a half on the way back home, and then I did literally like 60 minutes of actual physical reading. Everything else is audio, like in the park, waiting in lines and stuff like that. But that's okay because audiobooks count. So I'm like 8 hours and 15 minutes in. Is that what it said? Or 8:45? I can't remember. Anyway, I will total everything up of reading. And I have finished The Troop. It's still not horror. It's not the horror that I thought it was, but y'all, that thing was horror. And I don't know why I sound like this. I don't know. I woke up, sound a little off, and this is what it sounds like tonight. I did yell a lot yesterday. I was yelling a lot on Cosmic Rewind, so that could have something to do with it. But anyway, okay. So The Troop was good. The Troop, like I said, was not the horror that I was thinking of. It was more outbreak horror. It was more infestation horror. It was more don't drink the water. Don't spit on me. Don't breathe on me. It was like that kind of horror. And then the government ain't poop, y'all, because what they did was the horrific thing. The horrific thing was what the people who were supposed to protect these kids did, y'all. It was sad. It was so sad. Like, it was like, I was literally in the car like, no. And you knew it was going to happen. But I didn't know it was going to happen like it happened. I was halfway right. So the things that were done were horrific. But it wasn't that type of horror. It was definitely gory, definitely like nasty. Like, don't be eating your food while you're trying to read it. Or listen to it. But it wasn't the horrific thing, like I said, is what the people who were supposed to protect the people did. And part of you, when you read the book, you're like, okay, I get it, right? But still, they could have had other options. So that's that book. Right now, I was listening to She Left. I'm gonna start actually reading it. I listened to most of it and then like just unpacking, showering, all that good stuff. I was listening to it, but I'm about to switch over to reading it. This one's really good. This is giving like straight thriller vibes. I don't think there's any language in this one, honestly. I don't think there's any language. And if there is, it's so minuscule because I don't even remember it. Like, that's how little there has to be because I don't remember anybody saying a bad word. This book is basically about a girl who back in the day was at like this house party thing, and she leaves. And when she gets home, she finds out that everybody at the party is dead. There was dead, and she's the only survivor. And years later, she's being brought back to that hometown And she thinks she's being brought there by like a journalist. And then they get to the house and there's some other people there and the journalist is nowhere to be found. Come to find out it was a setup. So basically people are they're leaving this planet left and right. And they're trying to figure out like who the killer is and why. So this is like straight thriller vibes. It's not spooky, it's like detective. You know, that's the kind of vibe I'm getting. Yes, they're in a house. Oh, there's a storm because people can't leave because there's a storm. But it's nothing super gruesome because the things happen and then they're done. They're not really described. There is one mention of how someone took or lost their life in the past, and it's kind of like, did they do this or not? But other than that, there are no triggers in this one really. But it's good. Like, I'm invested to find out who did this thing. But super easy. I'm already 68% in, and I'm like I said, I'm gonna switch over. So I'm gonna keep keeping time, and then we're just gonna keep trying to tick off these books. I started reading Almost There, which is the last Twisted Tale that I have, but I really want to read that one, so I switched over when I got a moment at a rest stop to find a different book on audio because I really want to read that one. I really enjoyed reading the one for Hercules, so I want to read that one. But yeah, we're just gonna keep taking away at these books. All right, guys, it is time for another check-in. We have successfully finished. Oh, I had already finished The Troop. Why is my brain like going crazy? I am reading She Left, or I was reading She Left. I started this on the way back from the trip as well. Why am I sweating or shining? Anyway, I started that yesterday on the trip. I will put however many reading hours we have right here on the screen. But we're not doing bad. We're definitely doing... We're going to hit the... What was it? I said 7 days, 3 hours a day. We're definitely going to hit the 21. Because this book was like, I think 7 or 8 hours. And then I did like the rest of the troop. So we're definitely going to hit the time with the audiobooks. Shout out to audiobooks. But I started this one on audiobook. I switched to reading it. But then it got kind of hard because I couldn't remember like the time that I stopped it. And I was like, that's too much work. So I just finished it on audio, which the audio was great. The reading is great too. So I think whichever direction you go on, you'll be invested because the chapters are short. Here's my issue with this book. Let me get my stand because my arm is hurting. All right. So here is my issue with this book. I didn't like the way it ended. And here's why I did not like the way it ended. I did not like the way that it ended because I feel like it was too predictable. Like, this book for me, it kept me invested. I was interested in the beginning. The chapters, like I said, are short. So you're going through it very quickly. That's why I feel like listening to it and reading it is great because I'm a girl who loves short chapters. It makes me feel accomplished. But this book kind of ended on a, oh, that was predictable. And I kind of wanted the person who was committing the murders and the reason why to be like a little more in depth. But it was very basic, surface level. Then at one point I was like, well, why didn't... Like, I didn't think that would be the thing because I'm like, well, why would you put yourself in the middle of it? Even though in the beginning I was like, that person looks like they're going to be the criminal. And then I figured out, oh, they told all the other persons like, oh, now I understand why you would bring this back up. But I just wanted the, like, criminal to have, like, a different motive. Like, I wanted it to be a different reason. So, basically, now that I have read this whole thing, and I will say I do like reading vlogs, and here's why. Because when I'm reading all these books by the end of the month, when I do the wrap-up, I done forgot all my thoughts. But because I'm doing this as a reading vlog, I can remember all of my little thoughts. So this one, 20 years ago, she survived, and now she's fighting for her life. So basically, Amy left the house party. Like I said before, she left the house party. And like when she got home, she found out like everybody had died. And it says the Memorial Day Massacre, as it came to be called, rocked their small California community. And Amy, the girl who had walked out away just in time, couldn't escape the media circus or the guilt. 20 years later, 10 people with connections to the crime have been invited to a remote cliffside house by a journalist looking to do a story on the murders. But the group quickly learns the event is not what it seems. As the storm closes in and the guests begin to die, Amy realizes there is someone in the house who knows more than they admit about that night long ago, and they will stop at nothing to protect their secrets. Let me just tell you, y'all already know, if you are not new here, you know how I feel about my season folks. So shout out to them. Because yeah, they solved the whole, they knew something was crazy based off of what I thought in the beginning. Because as a person who works in tech, I'm like, how did 10 of y'all, 10 people end up in this situation? Because I would have, from the beginning, when I was listening to the beginning, and then like the little thing happened, and I was like, so you mean to tell me it was that easy to fool 10 people? Okay, so you kind of deserve this, because Tech 101, none of you, but shout out to the old folks, the seasoned folk, the elderly. Shout out to, actually, would I consider them elderly? You know, I'm gonna say seasoned, and this, they kind of seasoned. I don't really know if they hit elder. Well, I guess technically they are elders, but anyway, shout out to them. But yeah, I liked the book. The book was good. People was falling off left and right. And you know I like when they be taken out. And I'm sitting there trying to figure out the puzzle. But like I said, the ending was just a letdown. I don't think it was a horrible read. I just wanted more from it. I would say after reading The Troop, it was a nice brain cleanser, because The Troop. Yeah, that was just, it's horrifically sad. But like I said, not horrific in a way that they made it seem, but it was horrific. So yes, I finished that one, and I'm actually doing 2 books now because I needed another audiobook. So this is the one I'm reading. I'm not editing that out. That's such a small clip. We Solve Murders by Richard Osman. Y'all know I love him. He's the Thursday Murder Club author. So I am reading this one, and I'm just going to fully read this one because I do better. Trying to go back and forth, listen and read don't work for me. So I'm going to fully read this one. So far, I'm like on chapter 6. There's 100 chapters, but they are very, very short. And this one is also already cute. His books are definitely cute murder mysteries. So unlike The Troop, where it was like, oh, dang. It's more like She Left with the mystery aspect, but more comical. And then I am listening to The Pallbearers Club. Let me grab that one. I might edit that one out. The Pallbearers Club by Paul Tremblay. I had to think of another book to do an audiobook. And there are certain books where I'm like, no, I really just want to read that book. So I'm trying to stick to that. But I am listening to this one now. This is my first Paul Tremblay book that I've read, but not the first one I bought. The first one I bought was actually a horror movie, but I haven't read that one yet. This one I didn't mention earlier, but like I said, I was trying to think of books that I wouldn't mind doing an audiobook versus ones that I know I wanted to physically read. So I decided to pick up this one, and so far I like it. Don't ask me what it's about, because I try not to read the books after I've bought them. Like, they sit on my shelf and then it's like, oh, I'm surprised because I can't remember what it's about. But so far so good. Looking in the actual book is kind of cool, because so the book is told, okay, so it's coming from like what I'm assuming is the present, where one of the characters in the book, I'm gonna say characters because it's a book being read by somebody, so it's like a book in a book. And one of the characters who in the book is named Mercy, but that's not her real name, but she's the one reading the book to you. She's actually going through and editing the novel. So like, even on the, I don't know if you can see that. Does this help? I don't know. Does this help? Oh, snap. It actually kind of helped. Did it? I don't know. So you can kind of see like she's editing the book as it goes on. So as she's reading it, like you can hear, so this is her thoughts and her notes for the book that he wrote. But as she's actually reading it, sometimes she'll pop in with a note, and that's what these are in the book. So I think that's kind of cool. What I think is so funny is at the beginning of the book, she's like, I'm not going to jump in. I'm going to save all my thoughts for the end of the chapter. And that's when she starts jumping in with her notes. So far, this book is about, like I said, a novel in a novel. So the character wrote, his name is, well, Art Barber is like the name he goes by in the book. But he is telling the story of what happened when they were in high school in this club that he created called the Pallbearers Club. And they basically are pallbearers, which I actually kind of thought this was like a cool idea. I don't know if this is like a real thing, but they're pallbearers, but they're pallbearers for like homeless people or elderly people who don't have family. So he started the school club because his school counselor was like, hey, you're doing good in school, but you need some extracurriculars. So he creates this club, and they basically go to like services. He made a agreement with the owner of this funeral home for him and people of this club to come and be pallbearers for these funerals for people who are homeless or older and don't have family. So I thought, I was like, is that a real thing? Because that's kind of a cool idea. I wouldn't sign up for it because I know the funeral industry is a big industry, but I couldn't do it. So that's what they're doing. And right now we're still in the stages where they're setting up the story. I still don't know what's going to happen. I think it is so funny because in one of her chapters, she's like, that chapter was a little too lengthy. Try breaking it up next time. And I was like, girl. Yes, because the fact that I had realized we hadn't switched chapters when she said that, I was like, if I was reading that, I would have thought the same thing. So I thought that was really funny that she said that. So this reads very comical. Now, I will say when you're looking like at the actual book, it's more of a lot of text. That typically doesn't bother me. Like, I'm not a person that has to have like more dialogue. I don't mind just the storytelling of it all. So I'm liking that so far. Listening to it, it's really good. I didn't tell y'all what this one's about. I don't think. So let me go back to this. This one is, my daughter's always like, how can you keep up? And I can keep up with what they're about. Like that, I don't get mixed up. This one is about these, well, it's very hard because I'm only in chapter 5, but so far a couple people have gotten that. But this does surround, or a big part of this, I do know, is a like bodyguard service. And at this point, many of his clients have gotten taken out. Which, if you are a bodyguard service, that's not a good thing, right? So he thinks he knows, like the owner, he thinks he knows who did the thing. And that's where I'm at right now. So those are the books that I'm reading right now. We have actually finished on this vlog 2 books already. 2 books. So we're going to see how many more that I finish. I don't know. I'm like, as you can see, I'm not sticking just to the list. I decided to pull something else off the shelf. But my focus is going to be books that have been on my shelf since 2004. 2024, not 2004. Lord have mercy. 2024. Oh, language. This one so far, no language. This one so far, no language. If there is language in any of his books, it's usually light language. I'm trying to think back to the Thursday Murder Club books. And in She Left, I know I said like there was no cursing, but then like 10 minutes later after I had made that video and started listening, somebody said a curse word. So I think there is language in that one, but the language is so few and far between, and it's like in very specific instances where it's like, I'm not going to say necessary because it's never necessary to curse, but it makes sense. Like, you know, one in a moment. So nothing crazy. But yeah, that's the check-in for now. So yeah. All right, so I want to check in because today is the last day of this weekly reading vlog, and I can't remember where I left off yesterday, but I am like almost 80% done with the Pallbearers Club. And y'all, I have no idea what is going on. Like, I feel like I am missing something really, really major because this book is not interesting at all. It goes, okay. So, like, I already told you guys that the girl, Mercy, which is her name in his story, is basically editing his memoir, as he calls it, but she always refers to it as a novel. And in it, it's almost like he's trying to make her out to be a vampire, right? So I'm literally waiting for, no one has, people have died because, of course, the Paul Bear's Club. So we know that there are people that are no longer living. But there is nothing horrible about this. And I was like, I need to read. Normally, I would not read the cover or a synopsis of a book, especially if it's been on my shelf for a long time. I kind of just go into it blind. But I was like, I need to pick this up and read this. So there is a quote by my guy, Stephen Graham Jones. Books can have teeth, a whole mouthful of them. The Paul Bear's Club has a whole lifetime of them. Wait, I think there's a Stephen King quote too. Because for a book that looks death squarely in its sightless eyes, this is one just brimming over with life and inventiveness. Karen Russell. I don't know who Karen is, but she said that. I thought wait a minute. I think Stephen King, maybe, okay, I was looking at Stephen Graham Jones. I'm trying to find, oh yeah, the Paul Bear's Club is Tremblay at his most audacious best. It's such a sneaky mind blower. It'll burrow deep inside you, and by the end you'll be wondering if the room you're sitting in, the people you're talking with, or even your own memory are real. This book is horror's answer to Nabokov's Pale Fire. I don't know what that is. Sarah Langland. One of the best, most intriguing horror novels I've read in many years. The Paul Bear's Club is also Paul Tremblay's crowning achievement, sure to be embraced by literary fiction devotees and horror lovers with equal fervor. It's a high wire. The judgment I have to deal with, y'all. Is it not time for school again? It's a high wire act most writers would never attempt. Christopher Golden. This thing is not horror. Like, there's no horror. And I think sometimes these books want me to... What is this? Oh, that's the tip of my hair. These books want you to think more than you want to think. I'm not here to think. I'm here to be horrified. And I'm not... Y'all, come get her. I don't know what is going on. Like, through the whole book, he's been hinting to, like, vampirism. Like, this girl's a vampire. And all the things that happen, like, to him or when she's around is her fault. Y'all, I'm so not a cleverly voiced psychological thriller about an unforgettable and unsettling friendship with blood-chilling twists, crackling wit for a thrumming pulse in its veins from the nationally best-selling author of The Cabin at the End of the World and Survivor's Song. Y'all. No. And I'm mad because I'm too far in to just not finish it, which, surprisingly, I did DNF a book this month, which is crazy because I don't not finish a book. Well, we'll talk about that in my wrap up. But anyway, I'm too close to the end to not finish. I don't know if I'm gonna finish today. I'm not gonna lie. I probably won't finish it in this video vlog because I don't know if I have the mental capacity to give this book 2 more hours because that's how much is left. Anyway, that's fine. We solve murders. We have finally gotten to the point where someone in the book actually says, but we don't solve murders. And then someone else says, maybe we should start. And I'm here for it, y'all. So this one, right now, I'm a little over 100 pages. And a hitman, basically a guy, no, he's not a hitman. Wait a second. A guy runs a, like, bodyguard agency to protect people who are celebrities or whatever like that. And some people do have, like, hits put out on them. So they're protecting them from the hitman, right? So some of the clients of this bodyguard protection agency are, like, being taken out. and it's connected to one of like their clients or whatever. But apparently there's like an inside man. So we do find out who took out one of these celebrities, but we don't know who they're working with. And right now, my elderlies, there's an older gentleman who is going to be working with an employee of this agency to figure out what's going on. So this one is actually interesting. I will say that first 100 pages, it wasn't hard. It's just that there were, like, it's going between different characters and you're just learning people. And I always find, like, in a mystery, because this is very much a mystery, sometimes that's kind of hard. But super cute, super funny. I'm enjoying it. I can't wait. I probably won't be able to finish this one either because there's, like, almost 400 pages in this book. And it's, like, 7 o'clock. I'm not going to finish it tonight. But those are my thoughts so far. What I'll probably do is tomorrow do like a recap of what I actually do finish and where I am. But I will finish these this month. So, I can't, we're just trying to see how much we can read. Get through this TBR. But yeah, I'm sorry. The back of my ear is itching. Like, I got these new glasses, right? And initially, this ain't got nothing to do with these books, but I just feel like sharing. I put these on them because I typically wear glasses that don't have like adjustable nose bridges. And for some reason, initially I didn't have those on these glasses. But I ended up putting them on them because they were like started to slide off my nose. And I could probably just get these tightened, but I'm not going to go like every couple months to get those tightened. But for some reason on these glasses, these things are hurting the back of my freaking ears. Like, some bad. Like, I have to, like, push them, like, move them back or take my glasses off just to rub the back of my ears. Y'all didn't ask for that, but I just wanted to share. But I'm going to keep reading and listening to see if I can get through this tonight. Like I said, I probably won't. It's just really bad. I had to stop listening to it to do something else. Like, I wasn't even doing nothing because I was listening to it all day at work and I was just trying to get through it. But I literally have no idea what's so horrifying about this. It just seems like a book of coming to terms with death. And this man trying to like make it seem like something else is doing this. I don't know. The man's like 50 years old as he's writing the book. And his friend, who is actually older than him, because when they met and she joined the Pallbearers Club, she's actually not even a student at like their school. She was like a student at the community college. So she's like, well, she's probably not that much older. She could have been like a year or two older. But anyway, very uninteresting. But that's where we are right now. What's up? So I am doing the wrap up, the check-in. And it's like later on Wednesday. I meant to do this early this morning, but I didn't cheat because I didn't read anything at all today. Listen to nothing. I was like in work mode. So I did not finish the Pallbearers Club. I'm gonna try to finish that up today. So you will hear my complete thoughts and whether or not the book got better. I doubt it will. In next week's video, because this one's coming out today. Well, this one's coming out Friday. Today is Wednesday, but by the time you see it, it'll be Friday. So you'll be able to see about that in my wrap up next week. I'm still reading We Solve Murders. It's still good, but I didn't finish that one last night because I was only on page 100. I did start a new book. I knew I was going to finish it, but I couldn't help it. And that's probably why I didn't finish the Pallbearers Club, because instead of just trying to focus on that, I started something else. And that book would be The Crash. So far, so good. It's just starting off, but if you're not familiar, The Crash is by Frida McFadden. And Frida, one thing I would say about Frida and her thrillers, they don't always be, they're kind of, I side-eye Miss Frida. But you always know you're going to get some good twists and turns. So in this particular book, so far I'm like chapter 5, but we already have something where I'm trying to, in my mind, figure out like, okay, how is this going to twist into what it's going to be? Or like I'm thinking of like the setup. So, if you already read it, you might be like, But yeah, I'm only chapter 5 chapters in, and I'm kind of like, or four or five chapters in, and I'm like, okay, this deal isn't as sweet as you are portraying it, and I feel like something's about to go left for you. So that's where I am. I did finish The Troop, and like that one was good. It's not the level of horror that I thought it was gonna be, but horrific things are happening in the government. It is gory, there is language, and then with She Left, I think it is a good mystery. I just think the ending kind of fell flat. Not that much language. There are people being taken out, but nothing too strenuous, or nothing too crazy, I should say. And I liked it overall. I did wish the ending was different. But those are the 2 books I was able to complete. I'm going to put on the screen, because I don't know right now, like the total number of hours of reading that I did from when I started last Wednesday to yesterday. And I actually really like this, like I said, because I can give my thoughts in real time versus waiting to the end of the month where sometimes I forget things. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. My name is Sho'Shanna. For those of you who are new, thank you so much for joining the family. And for the rest of you who have been here and keep coming back, thank you so much. And I'll see you in the next one.